Are designer luxury goods aimed at poor people? We're going to discuss all of it. I also did a poll and I had over 1,000 of you vote in that poll to let me know what you think. Do you think luxury? No, it's for the love of it. I buy it because I love it. Or do you think actually, no, maybe there's an element of the fact that those who can't afford it buy it to look good. And you felt that fakes, however, were something that people buy to show off. Hey everyone, welcome to another video. So, as I just mentioned there, are luxury brands targeting the poor? Now, I want to start by saying I actually despise the title of this video, and you might be thinking, well, why did you call it that then? Well, the reason is this is actually a trending topic at the moment. I've seen it on Instagram, I've seen it on YouTube, and I think because it's a title everyone understands and they get it and they know, and I basically, this is like a reaction video to all of those other videos that have been done. So what I thought we could do, I put out a community post on my YouTube channel a couple of days ago, and I asked for your opinion on this, and we also did a poll. Now, over 1,000 people, 1,000 of you voted in that poll to let me know whether you think, yes, luxury is for poor people, it's bought by poor people trying to look like they're doing better in life than they are. But I also had those of you voting to say, no, I don't think it is an economic thing. I think you buy luxury because you love it, and it's one or the other. So if you want to know what the consensus was, what everyone thought, keep watching until the end and I will show you this poll. But what we're going to be doing is we're going to be unpacking this whole thing. I'm going to talk to you about what I think about it, the marketing that these brands come up with. I'm a marketeer, so for any of you who are new, my name is Sophie, and I've always worked in advertising agencies. So when it comes to the marketing, I've got kind of quite a strong point of view on it. But also I'm going to be talking to you about just what I think about this whole thing. But more than that, I'm going to be talking about what you all think of this whole thing, because I have got lots of your comments. I had like over 40 comments and I can't read them all out because we'll be here forever. But I've got lots of your comments and I'm going to go through and unpack those. So where has this topic come from? I actually don't know, but as I said, I've seen it. And the reason for this video is I was on my Instagram, well, I'm always on it, but I was on my Instagram a couple of days ago and I saw this post, and in this post it was like a clip from a podcast where they were discussing whether luxury brands are aimed at those economically less fortunate. And I was watching it and I thought, gosh, this is really an interesting topic. Do you know something? As someone who has had less than nothing in my life, as someone who has been in a lot of debt in my life when I went through university, as someone who definitely didn't grow up going to Chanel on the weekends, the topic gets my back up a little bit, because I know what it's like to have nothing. I'm not scared of going back to that. Do I want to? No, but I'm not scared of going back to it. But at the same time, I think there's a lot of unfair, negative connotations aimed at those who have less. That they are lazy somehow, or all these different kind of things. And it's so far from the truth. It's not the case. So when I was seeing these video topics going around, it just made me think, is this another unfair label on the poor? Is it? And so we're going to come on to that. But let's get on to what a lot of you thought before we do the poll, and I'll tell you what I think. The first is here, and you've said, I think it depends. Buying luxury items is addictive and it can be a status thing. I buy quality products with quality craftsmanship in the low to mid range. I just can't justify spending extra for the label. I also think labels plastered all over items is tacky looking and pretentious. I love watching Tanner Levenstein dissect luxury bags and do a price breakdown. You can do luxury in an understated way, focusing on the quality of brands you know and love. And I absolutely agree. And I love Tanner. I cry whenever he gets a new bag and he starts hacking away at it. I'm like, no, don't do that. But I love the concept of what he does, and I love how he brings to light, if you haven't watched him, he's fantastic. I tend to see him on Instagram, but he basically takes apart leather goods like bags, wallets. He goes through the quality of the leather, whether it's any good. I think it can also be a status thing, 100%. I think when I've been into, I'll tell you where it happens, when I go to Harrods, if I take my Coach bag, I get noticeably less service and less of a welcome than if I take a designer bag. And also at Bicester Village, I've had that. I walked into Prada and I had a Lady Dior with me, and I saw a salesperson look at my bag and then approach me, and it was really obvious. But if I go in with Coach or with my Senrev bags, I've been ignored before, and I know what it comes down to. I know it's a profiling thing. So definitely there is a big element of status involved. The next one of you said, I think the target luxury market is actually for the middle classes. I agree. I don't think it's aimed at the poor. I think it's aimed at the middle classes who are insecure about their class status. It's a way to prove you have enough. And I think the luxury brands know this. Whereas the really wealthy people I know, they don't feel like they have to prove anything. If they wear designer, it's something low-key like Todd's shoes or Longchamp bags. They may have some Gucci or some Chanel mixed in, but they don't often wear conspicuous logos. I love luxury brands, but I'd never buy anything new because I don't think it's a good investment at this point. I dabble in buying you dabble in buying vintage designer shoes because you think that things made 15 to 20 years ago are better value, better made. I agree. I wouldn't buy vintage shoes, but I'm into vintage bags and clothing. But this one says, to be honest, I could afford every luxury bag out there, but I just don't see the point in spending that much money on an item. I'd rather invest it in something more important. For example, a down payment for a house, and buy a good quality pre-loved bag for around about €400, something that you'll actually use. Also, fakes are tacky in my opinion. And Tut7758, you have said, I agree, becoming mortgage free around 45 is my goal. High five, me as well. Oh yes, it's gonna happen. But to each their own though. It's up to them how they spend their money. But honestly, it helps that I don't like Hermes, boring bags, my God. And Chanel is just too much. CRAP. So I like some good things there from those of you saying, do you know what? If I've got the spare money to spend on luxury, I'd rather put it towards like a travel, a house, a car, you know, something bigger. And I think the way that price rises have gone, I've done so many videos on price rises, my take on them over the last year, and about actually how they're backfiring, about how I know of one person who I can't name, and I can't name where they work, but they have said to me that the brand they manage have seen a noticeable decline in sales since the price rises. And the brand aren't saying this, but this person said to me that internally there's a thought of, you know, could this be to do with the fact that prices have got so extreme now that more people, maybe it is the middle classes, you know, maybe it's the middle classes that are being targeted here. I would agree. I think it is. This next comment says, I always felt these things were for rich people. Like if you make $1 million a year, a Coach bag may not feel special, but a Birkin exotic does with your disposable income ratio. The next comment has said, I do not buy much, if any, true luxury. Well, I have bought Coach. I love Coach. I also had a pair of Tommy Hilfiger boots that I just loved and I wish I still had. And I felt really bad for you. You said that you had a fire and you lost everything except what you had on us at the time. I'm so glad you're okay though, and I hope everyone in your family and your friends was okay, and your pets, etc. This next one is a strong opinion. Loud luxury is for the poor who just want the look at me labels with logos all over. Most buy knockoffs. And you know what? After I put the poll up, I had an email from one of you and you said something really interesting, and you did not want your name read out, and I kind of understand why, but you were like, you can read out the gist of the comment. You said that luxury is not, what was it now? You said, no, luxury is for the love of it. People buy it generally because they're passionate about it, they're a collector, they're interested in it, and you disagreed that the majority of people would ever buy a label to show off. Your opinion, yeah, fine. You also said though, and this was the interesting thing, you spoke about fakes, and you felt that fakes, however, were something that people buy to show off because they aspire to something they can't at the moment. I always say that, never say never, you know, at the moment they might not be able to aspire to, therefore they buy the fake because they feel that it changes their status, potentially. It was something you said, and I thought it was a very interesting way of looking at things. We'll do a few more comments and then I'm going to talk about what I think. So the next one is, you've said, luxury is for the poor in that they desire to prove something, not because they actually enjoyed the piece. So you're saying, actually, luxury, poor people go and buy it. They don't even like what they're buying. They're just buying it to look good. Again, your opinion, you know, nothing wrong with that. The next one has said, I believe it's a bit of both. Some may do it to show off, others because of quality. The marketing, in my humble opinion, towards those who may not be in the best financial position. So you're basically saying, this is Nicole, saying you feel that the marketing is to blame here. Now let's discuss marketing. I have got here a Dior book, which they're very nice, but I never know what to do with them because they send them out quite often, and they're too nice to put in the bin. But what do you do with it? I don't know. Is the content in there targeting any one financial demographic? If you ask me, I don't think these brands target what we would call the poor. I think these brands target the middle classes. I think that's who they're targeting. That's who they're after. When they send you, like, you get sent these kind of things. I haven't even opened this. It's like, it's basically a book containing their newest collection, and it's got models dressed in the most beautiful clothing by the beach, looking amazing, or wherever. That's targeting the middle classes. And there may well be a big element of people buying designer items to make themselves look like they're doing better in life than they really are. Or maybe they genuinely are doing really good in life and they just want to back it up. Or maybe there are people out there who buy luxury stuff just because they're passionate about it, they like how it looks, etc. But I do think the marketing targets the middle classes without doubt. And actually, that, even if you ask me, transcends through social media. I've done a video before which I will link to below, and the video is about why designer brands gift their top brand new out handbags to influencers. It's something I'm seeing less of now. I think if I go back 4 years, I remember it happening a lot, particularly with Dior. But why do they do that? And why do they pick influencers that seem very middle class? These brands, think about it everyone, these brands aren't picking people that are unemployed to go and push their bags. They're pushing middle class working people. So I think the argument that luxury brands target the lower, like the poor, I don't agree with it. I don't think they do. I think they're very much targeting the middle classes, those aspiring to have nice things, whether they like the nice things they're buying or whether they're just buying it on a whim. That's what I think, and I think that's why their marketing strategies, particularly around social media, are the way they are. Look at the people that they are promoting, that they're having promote their bags. These aren't super rich, wealthy people, hunting, shooting brigade, etc. They're middle classes, they're aspiring, they've worked their way up. I think that everyone should do what they love. If you buy bags so that people look at you and think you're doing great in life, you do you. If you buy bags because you love them and you love collecting them and you love using them, you do you. I think that's basically what I think in a nutshell. Now, let's look at this poll, because the comments, most of the comments suggested that yes, luxury is for the poor. But actually, when you look at the poll, That is not what, like over 2/3 said no, luxury is for the love of luxury. And only around about 1/3 said no, luxury is like a poor thing. So let me know what you think. Have you found this video interesting? I really hope that you have. Please have your say below. I always say, no, I don't always say, but I will say keep it respectful, because when it comes to money, not everyone is at the same position. We don't know everyone's individual circumstances. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the comments section.